Alright, so hello! This is the first time that I am showing myself on here, which is kind of cool. The reason why I'm making this video is about a year ago, I wrote a script based on an idea that I had, and I really liked it, and it came out fine, I think. I think it came out okay. I did write it a while ago, and the reason why I wanted to make this video is I want to go over it with everybody on here. So I want to go through it, scroll through it, read what my ideas were, and then I want some input, right? I want constructive input, I guess. I mean, you could just say it sucks, but tell me why it sucks so I can fix it. And I want to go through the script together because I want to make something that's better. And I am completely willing to admit that there are a lot of problems with this, and I haven't read this script that I wrote in over a year. It's been over a year now since I finished this. I actually have a hard copy printed out. That's how long it's been. I printed it out a while ago. We're going to go over it, and I remember really loving it. So let's go ahead and start with the characters I have, and I'll tell you a little bit about the script. So let me pull up this Word document here, and let's scroll up to the characters. So let's go ahead and start out where the idea came from. So the idea actually came from a little show called 13 Reasons Why, which everybody loves, right? Everybody loves that show on Netflix, right? There's no problems with it at all, right? So the reason I went with it is I feel like there are too many stories about depression and there are too many stories about suicide where the main character is either bullied, using suicide as like a revenge, right? Like, look at what you did to me. You did this to me. But I feel like in real life, a lot of depression is more... A lot of people don't know when somebody's depressed. Somebody will just kill themselves and it's a shock to people. They had no idea, right? They weren't picked on, they weren't bullied, but they were sad. And that's kind of what the story is about. So now that you know a little bit, let's go ahead and go into the characters, right? So the main character's name is Sarah. The script is called Saving Sarah. That's the main character. Essentially what I had for her is she's popular, blonde, likes music, volunteers at a vet office, well-liked, has a lot of friends, and a good home life. But I bolded, has smiling depression. And the reason why is because that's one of the most... That's basically what the story is about, right? It's a huge character trait. But there's no reason why she should have depression, right? Anyway. So, the kind of character that I had in mind for Sarah was... I actually Googled Becky from Degrassi. I just felt like she had the look that I was going for, except without the Jesus, maybe. She's kind of blonde, wears these colors that are very bright, very poppy. I feel like that fits really well for the character I was going for. Now let's move on to Tabitha. Tabitha is Sarah's best friend. She's been her best friend since middle school. I have her kind of in a different aesthetic, right? Almost like a... I don't know. Just a different style than Sarah, basically, right? Goth emo, sarcastic, she's a tomboy. She's been friends with Sarah since middle school, and she likes gossip and rumors. That's an important part of the story, sort of. I guess it's... What I remember, it's important. What I remember. For Tabitha, I just kind of Googled goth girl. But this is kind of the one that I settled on. Just because she has the MyChem shirt. I don't know, it fits well to me. But that's basically what I'm going for, right? Something like that. Kind of the exact opposite. So you see someone like her, and then someone like her, and they're best friends, and that's awesome, right? Anyway. And then we have Daniel. So Daniel is actually Tabitha's brother. So these two are siblings. I don't know where I was going with that, but they're siblings. He's kind of a loner, doesn't have a lot of friends, quiet except around Sarah, somewhat nerdy, somewhat bullied, struggles with being happy, and he is one of the only people that Sarah will actually talk to about her true feelings, which is really important in the story. That's a super important plot point. As for Daniel, I went with JJ from Skins, because he's kind of dorky looking, kind of looks like Jesse Eisenberg, but he's not like someone who would get picked on, right? Not somebody who wears, like... I don't know how to... It sounds bad. But he's not somebody who gets bullied, but he's somebody that not a lot of people want to go out of their way to hang out with, if that makes sense. By the way, I didn't mention it at the beginning. This all takes place in high school. This is a high school story. So that's kind of... If you couldn't tell by the pictures that I was Googling up, they take place senior year of high school. I believe Tabitha is going to be the only character that's going to be a year younger, because I didn't want to make Tabitha and Daniel twins. I don't know. No twins allowed. Anyway. Supporting. So let's go down the supporting cast. We have mother and father. These are Sarah's parents. They are important characters. However, they do need a lot more characterization, and I didn't know what to do with them. So mother, very sweet, wants the best for her daughter. That's really all I got. She's just very sweet. She goes out of her way to do things. I feel like you can see that in the script too. The things that she does for Sarah, she just really loves and cares about her daughter. That's what I went there. Father, Sarah's dad, sarcastic, goofy, jokes around, into politics, distracted, and loves his daughter very much. And if you could tell during the script, he's always watching TV, watching politics, always has something like that on. I don't know what else to say. That's basically his character. Distracted is because he's always like on the TV trying to find something. That's what I got there. As for pictures for them, I just Googled modern parents, and I was thinking someone like this for the mom. Maybe less Karen-like. You know? As for the dad, I was thinking somebody kind of like, let me see, where did I find that picture? Kind of like that. That would work. Maybe a little chubbier, you know? A little bit more of a gut, I feel like works pretty well. Just my thoughts. And then we have Tessa. Tessa is also another important character. She's a party girl. She knows everybody. She won't stop at any opportunity to get high. She's one of those characters that kind of hangs around like a big group, right? She's always there. She's pretty popular, but I wouldn't call her like a popular, like mean girl or something like that. She's just always there. As for that, I Googled party girl, and I feel like this is kind of perfect. Just somebody who you could tell just goes out on the weekends and just gets fucked up. Has daddy issues, you know? Something like that. So, that's what I got. Now let's move on to the synopsis that I wrote from memory. Again, I haven't read this thing all the way through in almost a year now. So a lot of it's probably going to be rough. A lot of it I'm going to get into and say, that could be changed. I don't like that. Synopsis. Friends, wonderful family, and a bright future is what some believe to be the pinnacle of an amazing life. Saving Sarah is a story that proves that even though everything is going well, there could still be something wrong under the surface. And this is the most important part of it. She's not getting bullied. She didn't have something horrible happen to her. Some people just have depression because they have it. There doesn't need to be anything wrong in their life. They don't need to have a horrible, shitty home life. They don't need to be bullied at school. They don't need to not have any friends. Some people are just sad. And that's what this is about. And it was really, really hard to write a script that was interesting and entertaining when the events that happen aren't necessarily these earth-shattering events like in a 13 Reasons Why or something like that. But it's so important because people need to see that, hey, there's no reason I should be depressed. Why am I feeling this way? It happens sometimes. It just does. That's it, and it sucks. But that's what the story is about. Since we're getting kind of long-winded here, we're going to go ahead and start. So here's the title. Perfect. So we're going to go ahead and start through the script. Let's try and get through the first 5 pages. So we'll go through that, and I'll kind of explain what I was going for as we go along, right? Saving Sarah, written by me. So here's how we start. Black screen. Because you always got to start with the black screen in a script. That's how it works. We start off with a Sarah voiceover. While the screen is black, she says living, not dead, active and alert, animated. Basically what that is the definition of alive. Which is a little cheesy, not gonna lie. But it's still a decent way to start this off, right? And then we move on to right here. Deck outside of a house. Basically, Sarah's house, as I see it in my head, is a 2-story. I think I set this in Colorado. A lot of nature around. It's a 2-story house. It's basically in a white suburban neighborhood. Kind of a nice looking house, right? Kind of boring. Not really anything too exciting there. Sarah is seen standing still outside of a 2-story house on a deck, looking off into the distance from the house. Basically, she's just staring out into nature, right? And then the voiceover continues. Alive. Everything around me is alive. Basically implying that she feels dead, right? Sarah looks down at her hand, which has 2 pills on it. She takes both pills with no water or any drink. Just shoots them down there. And then, voiceover again. Definitions don't explain everything, do they? And then we get introduced to our first supporting character here, Sarah's mom. Sarah's mother walks up to her on the deck from the house. Sarah continues looking off into the distance. And then we get our first dialogue from Mother. Did you decide what you're going to do? Sarah keeps looking off. There's a moment of silence. Sarah turns to her mother, opens her mouth, starts speaking, and then cut! That's it for that. No more. Then we're going to switch. We're going to switch scenes. Interior, Sarah's bedroom, modern. So basically how I split this up is I do have some flashbacks. I don't like relying on flashbacks, but it's kind of needed in a story like this, where we switch to when she was a kid to see how she was raised, to fully emphasize that she had a good childhood, but there was always signs of something wrong. We'll get to that. Anyway, Sarah's bedroom, modern. Sarah's looking at herself in the mirror, getting ready. She's doing her hair, putting on makeup, getting dressed for the day. This is where we see kind of her aesthetic, right? She's very, putting on like a yellow dress, something very bright, getting ready for school. Really good makeup, very pretty. There you go. Another voiceover. I'm Sarah, I'm 18 years old, and I'm about to graduate high school. Very, very on the nose right there. That's intentional, though. We'll get to that. Anyway, Sarah exits her bedroom. And then, interior, Sarah's house, living room, kitchen. So she ends up going downstairs, where the kitchen is, at the stairwell. Sarah's mother is making something in the kitchen while Sarah's father is watching the news on TV, of course. And then, voiceover from Sarah again. I want to start this off by saying that I love my parents. Easy. Right there. Very simple. Again, there's a reason for that. Sarah sits down at the table in the kitchen. Her mom walks up and puts a plate that has eggs, bacon, and toast that's cut up into little fingers. So it's like little finger toast that she can like dip into her eggs. That's something my mom did growing up, so it's kind of a personal experience there. There's a little bit of that, which I'll get to as we go along. Mother at Grave Finance. Mother, here you go, dear. Sarah smiles and starts eating. So she sits down at the breakfast table. I didn't mention this, but in Sarah's bedroom, and we'll kind of get to it, it's decorated with photos around of her with friends. It's very bright, very colorful. She's got a lot of plants in there, a mirror, some makeup. Again, just very aesthetic, like a typical senior girl's bedroom getting ready to go to college, right? We go back to the voiceover. My mom has made me the same breakfast every school morning for years. Showing again that her mom loves her. Sarah's father throws his hands up in the air, waving them around like he just don't care. Father shouting, can you believe this horse shit? Every goddamn day with these people. So the reason why it's stars, I thought I went back and fixed all of it, but I wrote this a lot when I worked at a school. And the system, I was told, can recognize when people are typing in a bunch of swear words, so I had to put stars. Sarah's father gets up from the couch, walks over to Sarah as she eats. And you know what the cause of all this is, right? Sarah and her mother look at him. There's a brief moment of silence. They just kind of stare at him because they know where he's going with it, right? Liberals! That's who! Kind of gets you a sense of what father that I'm going for there. Sarah and her mother both roll their eyes and ignore him. Sarah gets up and puts her plate in the sink and starts to wash it. So she starts cleaning her own plate after breakfast. Her mother walks up and says, it's okay, babe. I got it. Again, very loving mom. Her mother pushes her out of the way, starts with the plate, easy. She goes, oh, thanks, Mom. Sarah walks over to grab her backpack that was sitting on one of the chairs, goes to exit the house as her dad walks in front of her to block the way. Father, so I get no bacon, and you leave without saying a single word to me. Who raised you? Sarah voiceover. My dad would always steal a piece of bacon off of my plate, or he would try to, at least. Very sweet. Very sarcastic, nice dad. Sarah, you just gotta be faster next time, Dad. That's actually kind of an important line that we'll get to. Her dad smiles and moves out of the way. Sarah, bye guys, as she exits the house. Sarah voiceover. Bye guys. What's going on with that voiceover? Sarah leaves the house. Cut to the driveway. Sarah is walking out and get her car that's pulled out of the street. I imagine she's driving some sort of like Civic or something. I don't know. Something not like amazing, but typical teenage car or something like that. Sarah voiceover. I just want you to know that I appreciate everything you guys do for me. Sarah gets in the car and drives off. Cut to interior Sarah's car. Sarah has a blank expression on her face. Hold on till May plays on the speakers of her car. Oh my god, our first song drop. Basically, that's that song is one of the reasons why I wanted to write something like this too. It was inspired from I hate to say that it was inspired from 13 Reasons Why, because come on. But it was with that, and it was also because of this song. It's a very sad song by Pierce the Veil. If you want to listen to it to get a little bit more context for this, that might be a good idea. Sarah voiceover continues. Every time I had a problem, you guys are there, still talking about her parents. I remember in the 7th grade, I wouldn't give this girl an answer to one of the tests, and then it cuts to the middle school. A young Sarah is refusing to give another student answers on a test. This is actually something that happened to me in real life. Believe it or not, this actually did happen. Anyway, refusing to give answers to a test, she cut me, which is true, actually. When I was in elementary school, I wouldn't give somebody the answers to a test, so I reached out my hand and was like, no, we're not going to do that. And she grabbed her scissors and was like, whack, and then cut my hand. And it started spilling up blood open. So that's great. The rest of this is Sarah, not me. The other student pulls out scissors, cuts Sarah's hands open, blood is pouring down her hand. Sarah is sitting with a blank expression on her face as the blood continues pouring out. Blank expression. No expression at all. Just sitting there watching it as the blood pours down her hand. And then we cut to the interior principal's office. Sarah's mom and dad are sitting in the office with Sarah, arguing to the principal. We can't hear their exact words. Sarah, they wanted to keep me in the same school with that girl, but you guys refused. Thank you for that. And then cut to exterior outside of Hall County High School. I don't know where I got that name. It just sounded like a high school. It just worked. Sarah parks and gets out of her car. She puts on some headphones onto her ears, grabs her backpack from the back seat. She walks over to a girl who is waiting for her under one of the lights. So basically what I'm going for is we're still going to the voiceover, why she changed schools, why she's grateful that her parents took her out, and then we cut back to modern times, and that's where she is right now. She's getting out of her car, going into the school. And she says, if you didn't do that, I would have never gotten so close to Tabitha. And then we finally see her best friend, a little goth girl named Tabitha. I like her. I think she's cool. Typical high school exchange. We got, hey, and then, hey. I've seen, when I worked at a high school, I saw a lot of kids, when they walk up to their friends, that's really all they say is just, hey. Hey. That's it. Very simple. I feel like a lot of times in high school things, they go, hey, how are you? And kind of start talking about that. And I'm like, that's fake. That doesn't happen, really. They don't. They're high school kids. That's all they say. They start walking together. Sarah pulls one of the headphones out from her ears. And then we get Tabitha saying, did you ask about Saturday? And that's where we're ending right now for the first 5 pages and the synopsis and the character thing. And I realized that this is going to take a while to get through. The script is 90 pages, and we got through 5. So I want to keep doing this because this is something that I was really passionate about when I was writing it, and I hope that comes out while I'm sitting here explaining why I chose to write and do the decisions that I did. So I hope that got through. And that's it. So if you did watch, I really do appreciate it. We're going to get through it. We're going to do this once a week, I hope. I really want to do it. I have a lot of fun. I could talk about the script for hours and the decisions and why I chose to do the things that I did. However, I do want feedback. I think that thing at the beginning is really cheesy with the definition. The voiceover probably could be a little bit better. Events could be moved around. I just want feedback. That's all I want. So any feedback that you want is good. If you have a different thing on how the characters should look, I know we've only done 5 pages, so it's not a whole lot, but if you have any ideas, please let me know. It's okay. Any ideas at all. Okay? And maybe we can go back and change it in front of you, you know? If there are changes from last week, we'll go in and then we can choose some changes, go over it, and then we can start the next 5 pages. I think it's really cool, and I don't see a lot of people doing this, so let's do it together. All right? And that's it. So if you did watch, again, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That means so much. You have no idea. But that's going to be it. Thank you. Bye.